Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the Liquid Wisdom Podcast, where we take the fear out of everyday life, one episode at a time. So if you're not scared, let's jump into the deep end right now, and please, don't pee in the pool.
Hey, what's going on? So glad you came back. First of all, I want to owe you an apology. I know you're accustomed to visits coming out on Sundays and that sort of thing, but I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, even Liquid sometimes needs a little bit of energy recharge, so I need one extra day just to find my chi, to get that balance back into it, So once I was able to attain the energy I needed to be able to sit down and chit chat with you, because I love doing it. Of course, I was like, hey, here we are. So this conversation was gonna have a different tone to it. I had something else planned, but I was like, you know what? In these tough times, so many people are finding it harder and harder to find reasons to smile or to be happy or things like that. So I said, how about I put myself out there and give you all something to hopefully smile and laugh about. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're just gonna have a cool, casual sit down. We're just gonna chit chat about finding a reason to smile, even when times are hard. If you learn how to do it, it's a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong, it is. Have a seat. Let's do this, okay? Now, the old saying goes, when it rains, it pours. We all know that. There are times in life where things get really tough. Maybe for one person, or maybe for many. As we've seen, we are living in some tough times. Truly, we really are. We got a pandemic, mass unemployment, racial tensions, uncertainty. All of it can make it difficult to find a silver lining when a cloud of doubt hovers over you. So how do we keep a hopeful mindset and stay strong when life seems to want to knock us down? Well, we start by assessing the truth of the situation, learning healthy coping mechanisms, and leaning on outside forces to help us, because no one's meant to be alone. Okay? First, let's just start off by assessing the truth of your situation. Maybe you or a family member are sick. Maybe you've lost your job and you don't know when you'll get a new one. Maybe your relationship is faltering. There are so many ways life can take a turn for the worse. But here are some tips to stay strong in the midst of it. I told you I got you. First and foremost, let's acknowledge your feelings with self-compassion. Please, don't beat yourself up for things that are in the past or out of your control. Here's what you do. Instead, focus on the bright spots of your situation. You've been resilient. You've made it this far, for starters, okay? You get up every day and keep trying. Maybe you still lend a helping hand or a kind word to others. You are a hero to someone. You can also admit to yourself that things are hard, but you've gotten back up when life got you down. I want you to know that there are benefits for allowing yourself some self-compassion. You have less anxiety and more peace of mind towards your situation. Self-compassion can also help you bounce back a little easier from the negative thoughts. Next thing you can try and do is confronting the lies of your situation. Unfortunately, for many of us, myself included, our minds, can tend to run to the worst possible outcome, whenever a bad situation arises. For instance, I lost my job becomes I'll be homeless and starving within a month. Or I have a cough. It can turn into Dr. Google says it's cancer. Now, personal story. I had some chest pain not too long ago. So one night I got nervous. I was saying, let me just see what this could possibly be. Do I need to go to the hospital, get myself checked out? I go to WebMD. Boy, oh boy. WebMD says I have angina. I type in the symptoms, it says angina. Not that indigestion, gas, or anything like that. Nope, it just goes straight for 10. Can you believe that? It said I had angina. Turns out I don't. I'm fine. It was just a little indigestion from some pizza I had. That was it. End of story. See, it could always be worse, right? It could always be worse. And other examples, right? Like my car is making a weird rumbling noise, and that can transform into it's going to shut off in the middle of the freeway. Here's the coolest thing. Thankfully, extremes like these tend to be the exception instead of the rule. Many of us can think of times when our thoughts went to the worst, only to find out that things weren't as bad as they seemed. Sometimes it is just a cough, thank goodness for me, right? Or just a random car rumble, or just a way to get out of a bad job into a better one. I'm not gonna lie, I've had plenty of bad jobs, and this isn't my job doing this, sitting and talking with you. I love doing this. So, hey, if you want to use an example, you can use me. Now, one of the coolest things that you can learn is to learn healthy coping mechanisms. So how do we keep our smile? How do we laugh in the face of hardship? I got you. Here are a couple tips. Now, first thing you can do is fake it till you make it. Hold on. Before you're thinking I'm talking about being disingenuous to yourself, hold on. Let me explain what it is. So, psychology today explains the placebo effect, okay, in which expectation alone can be strong enough to overcome diseases and afflictions. Well, there's a will, there's a way, right? Not only that, but it also states your predictions about a situation influence the outcome. So act confident, and in time you become confident. See? Believe in your capabilities, and in time they will shine. Smile, laugh, and count your blessings, and you'll be reminded that there are still blessings to be had. How amazing is that? This is, I'm telling you, so many personal stories, but this brings up another one. A friend of mine once told me that when she was younger, she was shy and lonely, and she felt like the most unattractive girl in her group. On a particular bad day, she looked into the mirror. Her hair was everywhere, her eyes were puffy, and she said to herself, "I look spectacular." Huh? She didn't mean it, but it made her smile. She started saying it every day until one day she looked into the mirror for real and said, "I do look spectacular today." Her confidence grew and she started feeling better about herself. One day she hung out with a group of friends. The friends, gathered around the mirror, immediately criticizing themselves. And they were saying things like, "I look so fat. My hair is ugly. I hate this shirt," and so on. My friend stood behind them in the mirror and said, "That's too bad because I look spectacular today." How about that? Here's the coolest thing about it. Everyone started laughing and the conversation changed. They began to point out what was good about themselves and each other. This just goes to show, in plenty of examples, a little bit of self-confidence change the whole atmosphere. That's all you got to do. Now, another thing you can utilize is, divert your attention for a while. This goes like, for those times, your worries get all consuming, take a break. Work on a hobby, read, or go to a movie, or find a fun activity. Give your mind a break from the problem so it doesn't feel insurmountable. I know plenty of friends out there in the community that I've met over the last few months who use streaming or video games or reading or writing or music in order to help them with some of the issues that they're dealing with. And all those things are great ways to divert your attention from what you're dealing with in your daily life. So whatever you use to find that helps you deal with your anxiety or some of the issues that you're dealing with, please find a healthy way to divert your attention, okay? Also laugh. Laughing is great. Find a funny movie or a show or stand-up special to lift your spirits. Sometimes you can even find the humor in a bad situation itself. Shortly after the tragedy of 9/11, Saturday Night Live, or SNL, creator Lorne Michaels asked the then mayor, Rudy Giuliani, if it was okay to be funny again. His response was, why start now? The crowd laughed, and it seemed to erase a lot of tension surrounding that time. And to scale the story down a good bit, I'm going to tell y'all a story about how incredible it is to laugh at a bad situation, even if it's at yourself, and how it can truly help. So buckle up. This is about to get crazy, because Liquid is going to tell you a personal story about, and a very embarrassing one, but very funny at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to paint a picture in your head, Bob Ross style. So remember, there's no such thing as a mistake, just happy little accidents. And I had a happy little accident in front of 500 people. And for some of my friends who know me, who went to school with me during this time, you're going to go back down memory lane as well. So here's what happened. Okay, let me start with this. Okay, so if any of you have ever seen anything like American Gladiators, Guts, or Double Dare, or anything like that, then this will become instantly recognizable. But for some of you that don't know or never experienced this, during my time in high school, once a year, or towards the end of the year, right before around school ends, so this is around like May or something, right? So we would have this thing called BOTC, which was called Battle of the Classes. It would pit students from freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior classes against one another, and they would take part in activities from the morning to the end of the day, which is around like 3:30. So the first year I watched, which would be my freshman year, I didn't participate. The following year, I decided to participate. So went to the table out in the commons area. I signed my name on a couple of events. I did what was called the Izzy Dizzy, which is you pretty much take a bat, you run down about 20 yards. I'm going all over the place. So the Battle of Classes event took place out in the football field. So this is where everyone converges, the entire school. I'm talking staff, students, the whole nine was there for these events throughout the day. And in different areas, they will have different events. So you'll have like weightlifting over there. You'll have art contests over on the far side of the field, that sort of thing. This was all day long. And so I did Izzy Dizzy. That was fine. Pretty much run 20 yards down the field, spin on the bat, run back is dizzy as heck, going sideways. Sometimes some people fall over. I fell over. That's fine, but that's not the crux of it. So fast forward to the Shangri-La, or the creme de la creme, the Super Bowl of events for the day, the obstacle course. It's a 4-man team, class against class. You got either freshmen versus seniors, junior versus sophomores, whatever. I signed up for that event. It's the end of the day, so we got 500 people out on the field, okay? Teachers, staff members, everybody, the whole student body, and it's me out there. So it's us against the seniors. This is the win, the entire thing, and this is the win bragging rights for the entire year for your class, for everyone, right? So this is really important. So it was us against the seniors, and I was the number 3 guy in the 4-man race. So here's how it happens. You go through the obstacle course, one man versus the other man. You make it all the way through. You come in and you tag your partner, and they go on to complete their leg of the race. And so first team to complete all 4 win. Cool stuff. So I'm number 3. I'm really important. So if I can maintain or create space to help the team win, boom, we win. So it gets to my point in the race. Teammate tags me. I'm going. So I'm running over picnic tables, sliding up under them, right? And going in and out of cones. And there was this other part where, just like on the aforementioned show, Double Dare, right? Where you climb this little ladder apparatus, flip into this pool of water, climb over the other side, then you run, do it again, and then you hit the final leg of the race, which was sliding under a water slide of sorts with mesh netting, and they're spraying water on you. You got to slide all the way over to tag your partner. So here's where it gets crazy. So mind you, this is my first year doing this. I wasn't prepared. When I mean by prepared, I had on the wrong shorts. For all my sports fans out there, you know when basketball players or pro athletes get out on the court, they just take these pants and just rip them off, little pull-away pants, right? And they get ready to go on the court because, you gotta get in a substitute for your team. So I had something like that, but I split mine off into shorts. So you could do that, apparently, with shorts back then. And I had buttons down the sides of my shorts. Now, they were comfortable. They were aerodynamic. Okay? Don't judge. But what ended up happening was probably one of the most embarrassing moments in my life. So, mind you, the ladder, right? Flip over the ladder, and the ladder had this little protrusion at the top of it, because apparently you can attach another set on top of it. So I flip over it, right, and the edge of it catches my shorts. And mind you, there's buttons along the side of the shorts, and I heard a sound that still rings in my head today. I heard pop, 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 pop on the way down. I fell into the water. My shorts were split. I stood up, and I am ass out in front of 500 people at my high school. 500 teachers, everything. And here's the funniest part. They were commentating on the race. So I heard two coaches saying, "Oh my God, he mooned the entire school." So everyone's like in shock. Some are laughing. Some are like making whistling sounds. They got to see my derriere. So I cover my front, my back still showing, right? You get my drift? And the guy I was running against is still completing the course, so he's chasing me. So I had two decisions to make. I could either quit and walk off the field and let my team down, or I could try to salvage whatever I could, complete the race, butt out and all, and help my team secure the victory for our class and get bragging rights. So guess which one Liquid did? If you guessed that I walked off, you're wrong. No, I completed the race. I'm still butt out because I didn't have enough time to adjust myself. So as long as I covered the front, I felt like okay. So I climbed the second ladder, butt out and all. And they say, "Oh my gosh, he's completing the race with his butt out." So I slide under the giant slide with the net on it, tag my friend, my teammate, excuse me, and they complete their leg of the race. And guess what? We won. Now I'm on the ground. I'm afraid to get off the ground, and a towel that seemed to come from the heavens comes flying out over the crowd because everyone was gathering around me, and they throw it out of nowhere, and I don't know who threw it to this day, but I grabbed it, wrapped it around myself, and walked off. People were high-fiving me. It's like, "Yo, that's crazy." I'm smiling and laughing at myself like, "Yo, that's embarrassing." And I did it, and in years since, younger siblings of old schoolmates would come up to me whenever I go back to the school and say, "Hey, are you Liquid? Are you that guy that mooned the entire school?" I said, "Yeah, I am." So I would laugh. It's a very embarrassing situation, but I laughed. I truly laughed. They would talk about that moment in our graduation ceremony, homecoming, valedictorian speeches, all crazy kind of things. Even when I would go back and talk to kids at the school, teachers who were still there will remember that moment. And one of the most amazing things is I didn't let that define me to where I look at that moment and I look upon it with great shame. I'm okay with it. I learned to laugh at that situation. And by doing that, it allowed me to take other situations in life, no matter how bad it gets, and learn to smile in spite of incredibly hard circumstances. So I don't normally tell personal stories like that, but my goal is to make sure that you have that sort of knowledge and power within yourself to find reasons to smile. All right? Now, on to the next part. I don't want to just stay on this forever. So on to the next part. So the next part is to say thanks. Okay? Notice the good things, no matter how small, throughout your day. Here's an example. All right. So say, for instance, somebody let you over in traffic. Give that good Samaritan a thankful wave and not just the one finger salute. You understand what I'm saying? You got free donuts at work? Give your boss a shiny-lipped, glaze-filled grin of thanks. Your wife left you, for those who are married, your wife left you the big piece of chicken. Thank her for thinking of you as you eat it right in front of your greedy kids' faces. All jokes aside, finding reasons to be thankful is a great thing, and it helps even more when you find reasons to be thankful, even in the trying times. Okay, there are many ways to cope and to find your smile in bad times. Exercise, create a journal, play games like I mentioned before, dance, find whatever it is that makes you happy, and and create your happy moments. One thing I've noticed is when you have a network of friends that care about you when you're not at your best, it's a beautiful remedy to a bad situation. If you find it difficult at times to motivate yourself, it's also a good idea to lean on friends, family, and faith when you can. Here's some things you can do. First and foremost, call someone. Call a friend, a family member, a pastor, a mentor, whomever you can find for encouragement. If you don't have their number, reach out on social media. If no one's available when you need them, don't be afraid to call a hotline. If you need it, that's what they're there for. They have the training and resources to help you through. Psych Central has a page dedicated to several hotlines that can address suicide prevention, domestic abuse, drug abuse, and so much more. It's on psychcentral.com. I'm going to leave the link in the summary box so you can have it for information, okay? Another thing you can do is keep the faith. For those of you who have a specific religious belief, going to your creator can improve your mood and provide comfort for an uncertain future. Things like prayer, meditation, meeting with other members, or keeping a journal of answered prayers can help. According to Psychology Today, faith in something bigger than we are, whether it be God or love or nature, can help fill our hearts with peace, hope, gratitude, even in the toughest of times. It's true. One beautiful thing you can also do is get together. Now, don't get me wrong, even though social distancing can make hanging out with friends difficult, there are still ways to get together. One way you can do is by meeting one-on-one with a loved one whenever possible. For those who are further away or maybe unable to meet up with you, Skype, Google Hangouts, Discord can help. Take a moment to reach out to someone. They may need you just as much as you need them. So don't hesitate to reach out and get together with people and communicate. Now, I just want to let you know, hard times fall on everyone. No one comes out unscathed. But a common message that applies to all is the belief that this too shall pass. Bad times come, but they also go. Look forward to the day that your misfortune is nothing but a memory and also a testimony to show just how far you've come. Something to think about. I also want you to remember that sometimes it's not as bad as it seems. Laugh, even in the midst of struggle. Lean on each other. And in the words of Snoop Dogg, or Uncle Snoop, and Lil Duval, you have a lot to be smiling for. If you're breathing, you achieve. We're having fun this evening. Believe me. Smile, okay? Please smile. Now, as I always leave you with these beautiful words before we come back and visit sometime down the road, you are only a few choices away from discovering your purpose and maximizing your potential. Now, I love you all very much. Thank you for coming to see me yet again. I hope this helps in any way, shape, or form. And please continue to uplift one another. Till next time we talk, till next time we meet. Take care.
All right. Pool hours are over. Don't want you catching a cramp. Tell you what, come on back for a swim soon and we can catch up on life. In the meantime, check me out on Twitter at FormlessLiquid. You can also find this podcast on Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many others. Just type in Liquid Wisdom Podcast and boom, you're there. Catch you later.